Parasyte. Hey you guys, it is TsubakiSwagg and I'm coming to you with my review of Parasyte episode 14, The Selfish Gene. And this episode, oh my god, like Shinichi, he is so not human anymore. Like he's still human, but he's not human. Like, and even there was even a part at the end when he even said, "Get out of the way, humans." I felt some type of way about that. I honestly didn't know how to feel about that statement because he was like, "You're a human too, dude." But pretty much, it was just I don't know. He he is an interesting fellow, and we get to see Uta again. Well, Uta again. He is so I love him. He's so awesome, and his parasite's name is Joe now. Like Joe, really, of all things that you could think of, his name is Joe, which means jaw. But I mean that makes sense. But his name is Joe. So this episode as a whole was pretty freaking awesome. Honestly didn't know how to feel about this episode, like, cause Ryoko, like, well, we find out, well, we already knew, but we find out in this episode, like, Shinichi, he doesn't know who to turn to, he doesn't know what to do, like, Murano pretty much left him now. She doesn't really want to have anything to do with him anymore because he won't tell her anything, so she walked away, and he was like, sayonara, and it made me so sad because I was like, no, don't let her walk away. And then there was even a part when Migi was pretty much saying he thought that it was close, and he thought that he was going to tell her everything, and then he was going to kill her, which would have really sucked. So I'm happy that Sneezy didn't tell her, especially while Migi was awake. But they find out, like, him and Migi have this long conversation. Well, not long, but they have a conversation. Pretty much Migi was like, I feel like I know that you're not going to change your way of thinking as far as killing other human beings. And so that way, he said, we're just going to table the thought of killing other humans, and we're just going to try to find some allies. And that was when Uda was brought back into the picture, which I thought was awesome. Uda is awesome. And then we see, like, them working together trying to find the man that had been investigating them, and we find out that he has a family. He has, like, a wife and a daughter, and the daughter was asleep when he got home, and his wife pretty much told him that he needs to keep his nose out of things that really don't concern him because he's a small timer, and the stuff that he is getting himself into is more for, like, the police force and blah blah blah. His wife was kind of rude. I mean, you're supposed to stick up for your husband, be strong, be there, be that hope that he needs, but she just didn't care. Wow, she just didn't care. So after all of that, we see, like, him following Shinichi, and Shinichi knows that he's following him, and he uses Uda as his backup, and Uda, Joe changes his face shape so the man wouldn't be able to tell what Uda really looks like, and they caught him and were talking to him. They pretty much told him the whole story, like how they became half, like, coexisting with parasites and all that good stuff, and he pretty much didn't believe him. Migi and Joe tried to attack him, but Shinichi got him to stop. And I believe Migi is changing too. While Shinichi is becoming more parasitic, Migi is becoming more human, which I don't know how to feel about that because Migi was like, Migi even cursed at one point. I was like, wait a minute, where did this come from? But Migi, Shinichi said he feels like Migi was just trying to make a point, but he can tell that Migi is changing too, so that's something to look forward to. So the dude goes back to, he doesn't go back to Ryoko. We see him, like, talking to Tamiya, and she, like, starts laughing, and I'm sorry, that was, like, the creepiest laugh I've ever seen in my life. Even just that just would have scared the living daylights out of me, hearing her laugh, and her laugh even made her baby cry. That's really saying something because it was just freaking creepy. I really was not prepared in the slightest for that laugh. But after that, it was like pretty much Shinichi was trying to, well, Ryoko, after she had that conversation with the PI, contacted him, and he didn't think it was going to be so soon. So he was going to meet up with her. She was in a lecture which was talking about selfish gene, which was like how love really isn't love, is just you trying to protect your DNA that has been passed on to your child and all this kind of stuff. It was easy to understand, but I think it was stupid personally, me personally. But other than that, like Sneezy met up with her, and she was like carrying the baby by its back, like how a dog would carry its baby, or a lion. And the two girls that were looking at the baby were like, "Who carries the baby like that?" And she like brought the baby up there, and she was talking to Sneezy, and Sneezy got angry because she was talking about his mom, and he started feeling that pain in his chest again. And she was like, I'm pretty much defenseless right now. I'll just use this baby as a shield if you try to attack me, blah, blah, blah. And she walked away when the girls came up and like, what are you doing? And Sneezy just like bolted out of there. He was just running for no reason. That was the point when he said that he told he said, get out of the way, humans. And I was like, wait a minute, what? Aren't you a human too? Well, I mean, he's really not a human, but he is a human too. But it was just like, whatever. So then after that point, after the whole thing was over and he finally stopped running, a fortune teller tried to talk to him and pretty much told him that he has a hole in his heart, and the only way to fill that hole is to talk to the person that put it there. And he made the scariest face I've ever seen Sneezy make, and he was like, I already killed that person. That was the end of the freaking episode. I was like, really, why would you end it at that point? But that really shouldn't surprise me anymore, because they seem to do that like every episode. But I don't know, this episode was awesome. I really was not prepared for this episode at all. It was just that freaking awesome. I'm done rambling, but I'm so looking forward to seeing how things turn out. Like, I want to see how Sneezy goes about filling that hole in his heart. How do you think he is going to fill the hole in his heart now that he can't talk to his mom? Like, he really did kill his, well, he didn't kill his mom. He killed the parasite who killed his mom and took her body. But this episode, it was awesome and horrible and sad and just epic at the same time. So I really hope that Ryoko dies. That sounds really horrible, and I hardly ever wish death upon characters, but I really hope Ryoko dies. She deserves to die, and she needs to get that baby taken away from her, because she even said at one point that she hasn't done anything to it yet, and then she said that she was going to use it as a human shield, pretty much. So Ryoko just doesn't need to have a child, and we all know that, but that's neither here nor there. So yeah. Other than that, this episode was pretty freaking awesome. So, as always, I would love to hear how you guys felt about this episode. How do you think things are going to turn out? How do you think things are going to turn out between Sneezy and Murano? How do you think things are going to turn out with the PI knowing everything about Sneezy and just everything? But as always, please remember to comment, thumbs up, and subscribe. It helps me out a whole lot. And this is TsubakiSwagg saying adios.